In this video, we're going to be reviewing the movie Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves and showing you how to brew a diabolical potion I've named the Beckoning Death. Today, on the Martini Shot. Hello and welcome to the Martini Shot, home of movie reviews and movie-themed cocktails. My name is Brandon. Before we get into the review, let's encapsulate pure evil into a bottle and take a sip courtesy of a smoky red cocktail called the Beckoning Death. And hey, if you enjoy movie reviews and movie-themed cocktails, be sure to leave a like if you'd like to help support the channel. I was actually a little disappointed. I don't think I saw a single potion in this movie, but that's alright because we can make our own. The cocktail is based off of the Beckoning Death, a curse in the film that transforms people into feral, undead monsters. Its appearance is typically in the form of a red smoke, so I've decided to stick with the motif by using mezcal for the smokiness and raspberry liqueur for the color. This is a pretty sweet drink that packs quite a punch, so let's get brewing. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be a shaken drink, so go ahead and grab your shaker. And first we're going to start by adding a little bit of natural sweetness, courtesy of some lemon and lime juice. And for these, you are going to be doing ½ an ounce for each. Up next, we're going to be adding a little bit more sweetness and also some spice courtesy of some cinnamon syrup. You can make this yourself at home, just like making your normal simple syrup where 1 part is sugar, 1 part is water. You can also throw in a little bit of cinnamon in there. For me, I think I did about 3 or 4 tablespoons of cinnamon, but you can adjust based on your tastes. And for the simple syrup, we're going to be doing 1 ounce. All right, next up is our liqueurs. First, starting with some elderflower liqueur, you're going to be doing a 3/4 ounce. And now to top off the sweetness and add that red color we're going for, we're going to be using a raspberry liqueur, and you're going to be doing 1 ounce. And then finally, for our main spirit, the mezcal, you are going to be doing 2 ounces. All right, let's go ahead and throw ice in our shaker and shake to chill. All right, so now where you go from here is going to be pretty reliant on what kind of glass you're going to be serving this in. Obviously, I thought the right move to go with would be these little potion bottles. You can buy these on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description. But as you can see, it's going to make it very hard to pour the cocktail directly in there. So what I've decided to do is actually transfer the drink into something with more of a pour spout to it, which I'm going to be using my mixing glass in that case. And then I'm going to be using this little funnel just to make sure everything gets in there. And this can get a little messy, so definitely lay down some towels if you're a little worried about dripping. And there you go, now you have the Beckoning Death. So this is a pretty sweet cocktail, very tart, but also has a little bit of a smokiness to it because of that mezcal. The cinnamon kind of comes in more on the back end. You get a little bit of that spice, a little bit of that different type of sweetness compared to the lemon and the lime juice. I wouldn't say it's necessarily in the dessert kind of range, but there's actually like a little bit of richness to it, which I do like. I've noticed I've done quite a few kind of fancier cocktails the last couple of times, so I wanted to make something that was a lot more appealing to a wider audience, a lot more approachable. So yeah, this one is very easy to drink and does have quite a kick to it. Sweet, tart, smoky, just a hint of spice. It's got a little bit of everything. Now that we have our drink, let's roll for initiative and dive into the review of Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. So D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, the tabletop role-playing game once thought to be for the most sun-fearing geeks, has had quite the renaissance in the past few decades. This could be due in part to shows like Stranger Things bringing it back into the mainstream, big Hollywood names forming their own exclusive club, or something as simple as a shift in societal norms. It's a game designed to offer an endless amount of possibilities and adventures, which of course makes it ripe for a Hollywood adaptation. There's actually a few D&D movies, none of which look particularly that good. If you want to know more about those, Mr. Sunday Movie has a great video going over the first film and the surprisingly interesting story behind its production. It does make you think though, can a story where you create your own characters and own adventures actually be adapted in a faithful way? Truthfully, I didn't really think so. So when I heard a new Hollywood adaptation was on the way, I didn't really plan on watching it. Though this all changed thanks to 2 reasons. Firstly, it's directed by John Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, who directed the comedy film Game Night, which I only just discovered a year ago and is hilarious. Secondly, I actually started playing D&D. I'm in the middle of a campaign right now with other first-timers. My character's name is Kaiser, a reptilian thief who only recently gained sentience and is out to study the creatures and civilizations of the world. Does this count as a persona? Stop asking questions. So yeah, now more familiar with the material and the crew behind the film, I was on board. And I got pretty much what I expected, a fun fantasy romp through many fantastical landscapes driven by fun archetypal characters and decent special effects. It's quite funny at times, even if it's a bit inconsistent, and there's a lot more care and craft put into building this world and creatures than you would probably expect. Honor Among Thieves sees a ragtag group of scoundrels come together to perform a dangerous heist in order to reunite a family while coming face to face with an imposing evil ready to take over the world. Yeah, sounds like D&D to me. The characters all fall into familiar but welcome archetypes. The witty thief, the headstrong warrior, the sorcerer that spends most of the quest having no idea what they can actually do. It felt pretty authentic to the ragtag groups formed in your playthroughs, with each character fulfilling a certain role that helps everyone along the quest. And all the actors do a great job at embodying those characters. Chris Pine nails the goofy, heart of gold thief / bard Edgin. Michelle Rodriguez kicks ass as the warrior Holga. Justice Smith embodies the fear of living up to expectations and finding self-confidence as the spellcaster Simon. And Hugh Grant does a standout job as the two-faced ruler of Neverwinter, Forge. Though these character archetypes are very familiar and don't bring a ton of new ideas to the table, they are enjoyable to follow nonetheless due to the talent of the actors and their chemistry together. Also, shout out to the Auntie Donna boys, happy to see them getting some work. The world of the Forgotten Realms is brought to life through a mix of both digital and practical effects. It was actually really refreshing to see a high-concept fantasy film put in the extra work to design puppets, animatronics, and incredible set pieces to make the world feel more tangible. Though the visuals aren't all equally clean and convincing, the extra effort absolutely makes a difference. Some of these scenes are so awesome to watch, especially when you know it's not as reliant on special effects as you would think. Definitely go and check out some of the behind-the-scenes videos to see how they pulled these shots and settings off. One of the things I respected the most about Daly and Goldstein's work on Game Night was how they went about instilling creativity in the scene composition and camera work for a comedy, something you usually don't see a ton of. This translates to this film as well, making an attempt to not just settle for simple scene setups, throwing in some fun one-shots and some entertaining fight sequences. The comedy of Game Night is another aspect I was looking forward to experiencing again in this film. And while I don't think the film manages to be consistently as funny here, there's still some pretty solid moments. From talking to the corpses of a once powerful army to a body projection going haywire like a video game glitch in real life, there's some genuinely funny moments here. It's not as entertaining all the time though, constantly falling into the pratfalls of exposition dumps and lack of originality. It doesn't help that the pacing can be all over the place as we occasionally drift a bit too far from the main conflict at times, while the main villain isn't nearly as memorable as the main cast. There's certainly a lot of familiarity here that does keep the film from being as memorable as it could be with its world building. But I do have to say this is much better than what we could have gotten. In a world of lazy IP milkers, I definitely didn't mind this somewhat refreshing throwback to simple mid-2000s fantasy adventures. The cast is likable, the visuals are often impressive and fantastical, and there's enough wit and charm to satisfy most moviegoers. While there's definitely some more polish needed, I actually look forward to a follow-up. Here's hoping the sequel development moves faster than the campaign I'm in. Seriously, I feel like we've been stuck in the same dungeon for like 2 months. For my rating, I'm giving this 3 Helms of Disjunctions out of 5. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Martini Shot. If you saw Dungeons & Dragons, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. And if you like what you saw here and would like to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me across all social media channels. Those links are down in the description below. And if you enjoy movie reviews and movie-themed cocktails, be sure to check out my website, martinishot.blog. Until next time, thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Live deliciously, but please remember, drink responsibly.